Welcome back, YouTube. It's VLD, and today I'm doing a showcase of all the 6 keyboard reviews I've done, split down into a 60 to 90 second quick review so you can choose which one is best for you. Let's go. Welcome back, YouTube. I'm your host, VLD, and today I'm doing the top 6 keyboard reviews for the Mini 6. This is the finite one. It charges via micro USB. You can pick this off Amazon for about 40 bucks. The keyboard itself is pretty lackluster. The first 3 reviews are the same exact keyboard, repackaged just a little bit differently, but I am a huge fan of the case itself. You power it via micro USB, and then it's held on via magnets onto it. I do like the feel of the case itself. I like the feel, the texture. It protects everything and holds your Apple Pencil. The cutouts are fairly okay. They're not always the greatest, but it does not have raise awake, which could be a trade-off for some people. The keys actually do hit the screen when you close it, as shown, so that could be another trade-off. The case itself is pretty good. I do really like the case. I'm a fan of it. You can adjust it 3 or 2 different angles for it, so you can find the perfect snug fit for yourself. But the keyboard is held on via magnets, which it's hit or miss. I'm not a huge fan of this actual keyboard case. All my videos will be linked down for the full review. This is the second keyboard review. This is from Pageland, and you can pick this off Amazon up for about 40 bucks right now. One, I have to disclaim, this case is not as good as the first one. It is a fingerprint magnet. I mean, I've just used it for a few minutes. It's just covered in fingerprints. It's the same exact keyboard as the first one. So same experience. It's really mushy. It's not super great, and the typing experience is not really that well. This keyboard will not actually hold your Apple Pencil for charging if you have a sleeve or it doesn't have a sleeve. It will not actually charge it just because it sits on top. It's a holder just for your Apple Pencil. It will not work with any of the off-brand ones either, so if you have one, it won't work. It doesn't actually have any cutouts actually for your case, so you have to just slide and hope. You connect it via Bluetooth. You have different options for that, shortcuts, the usual stuff, but the same typing experience will be the same as the first one. It's kind of mushy. The case is kind of lackluster. It's really big. The keys actually do hit the screen, so if you travel with that, that could be one thing. Cutouts are not really that great, so it's a bigger case, so if you want to get to the volume or power button, it's not a good experience in my opinion. This is probably the worst one out of them all, in my opinion. This is the third one. This is the keyboard case for iPad Mini 6. They're all about the same name. This one charges via micro USB. This one is a little bit different. The case itself is a lot nicer than the last one, but this one has a little bit of a twist. The actual screen protector the actual case itself can actually twist. Unlike the second one, you are given the same keyboard as 1, 2, and 3, so typing experience will be the same regardless of whatever case you get. So I like to compare the cases a little bit more just to differentiate them a little bit differently. This case is actually a lot nicer than the second one. The material is nice. The keyboard actually still touches the screen when you close it, but this one actually has better cutouts for all your stuff. You have 2 angles for adjustment for the screen, which is good in my opinion. Plus you have the ability to actually rotate it 360, any pivot left or right. So that's always good. Same typing experience, same keyboard, so your mileage might vary just for the simple fact for that. It does also charge via micro USB, and you can basically switch it 360 any which way. So if you want to do more portrait than landscape or landscape to portrait, you have an option with this case. You can pick this off Amazon for about $25. I would recommend this over the last 2 because those are $40, this is $25, so it's about the same thing for a little bit more than half the price. Plus you can rotate it any which way. So I can recommend that over the last 2. This is number 4. This is iPad keyboard case from Mini 6. This one's more of a clamshell. It's hard plastic. It doesn't actually come off. You have your hard plastic cutouts for your camera, your volume buttons, and everything else. This one's different. It's clamshell. Therefore, the keys don't actually touch the keyboard, which that's fairly nice. This one is the next generation of keyboard cases for the Mini 6. It's hard plastic. It's clamshell. It's more of a netbook style than anything else. And I'm actually more of a fan of this. This is a comparison between the last one review, and the keys are about the same. They're a little bit bigger, they're a little bit more spacious than the last three, so that's really good in my opinion. I am more of a fan of this. You can pick this one off Amazon for about $35, so I would recommend this over the last three, just for the simple fact. All you have to do is snap it in place. You have the ability to charge your Apple Pencil. You have 4 rubber feet, so it won't move anywhere. And this one's a lot better experience, in my opinion. So for about $35, this one does beat the other three, in my opinion. Plus, you are given Raise Awake, and when you open and close it, the screen will turn off or stay on, which is a deal breaker for a lot of people. Plus, the keys themselves, they do not actually touch the screen, so you have a peace of mind knowing they won't actually rub off on it. And the typing experience, granted, it's a small, little bit more of a cramped style, but the keys are actually built a lot better than the last three. It's not a cheap feeling, so I do recommend this one over the last three. This is the fifth one in my quick review. This is Greenlaw. It charges USB Type-C. It's more of a rubber case. It has good cutouts for your buttons for your Apple Mini 6 for volume and then power button. It has a hinge mechanism, 4 rubber feet, but this one has a little bit of a twist to it. The top actually comes off, so you can tear off the iPad Mini 6 and use a keyboard separately. You have 3 prongs and then magnets that hold it in place. When you close it, the actual keys do not touch the screen. The keyboard case is raised above the screen, so you don't have to deal with that. Plus, you have Raise Awake, so if you open and close it, it turns on and turns off. If you rotate it more than 90 degrees, it raises a little bit, so it's more of an angle, so when you type, the experience is fairly good in my opinion. This is the 5th one in my review, and in each iteration, it keeps on getting better and better, so I do recommend this one. It's a little bit different, but the ability to actually take the iPad off and have it separate from the keyboard is fairly good in my opinion. So this is a good selling point. This is a really good typing experience in my own opinion. So I do recommend this device for anyone who wants their own netbook to put in their pocket. I do like that. And this is the 6th one. This is type case for your Mini 6. It charges via USB Type-C. You have 4 rubber feet on the bottom. It's more of a rubber feel. It's not a hard plastic. And the whole mechanism itself is more rubber. And it comes with a trackpad. It is probably the best one all around. The keys are built a little bit different. When you close it, the keys don't actually hit the screen, so that's good in my opinion. And you flip it over to the other side, you have your on and off switch, your charger. You have about 8 different colors for being backlit, and this experience is probably the best one ever. So if you were to shell out some money for it, I would recommend this one. The only downside is the trackpad is fairly weak, and I'd rather get a mouse than try to use this trackpad. Gestures are not that great, besides 1 or 2 finger taps, but the keyboard experience is fairly better than all the other 5 I have reviewed so far. Plus, you have the ability to rotate this in 4 different positions, so if you want to do some typing or some drawing, you have that ability also without actually taking the iPad out of the case. You can pick this one off Amazon for about $60, and you have the ability to charge your Apple Pencil on top of that. So the ability to rotate, being backlit, having the best typing experience ever. Granted, this is a little bit more expensive at about $60, $65, but this is by far the best one ever. I'm your host, VLD, signing out.